I think you guys have had 20 different players score for you this season. Does that kind of depth scoring give you the confidence to put Connor and Leon together and know that your whole lineup can produce goals?
Well, it puts pressure on that depth to contribute. You know, that was one of our goals coming into the year. We want to have greater depth of scoring, and we haven't tried it to this point. So we'll see how it goes here. You're relying on people chipping in, and you know, we know that Connor and Leon are going to drive some offense, but we need to be a good team. We need to have that throughout our lineup, and not just chipping in, but you know, we need consistency in that part, and so we'll see how it goes here.
Reiner Schog, TSN.
Hey, Dave. Quick little half question and then a full question.
Half question. How do you do a half question?
How about a quick one? I asked you. Give me a one-word answer.
How about two quick ones?
Is Koskinen starting?
Koskinen starting tonight. Yeah.
All right, that was the half question. Can you discuss the Nugent Hopkins, Puljujarvi, and Ennis line, and just the mix of those three players, and why you think it has a good chance to be effective?
Well, we'll see. You see, Nugent and Ennis are both real good skill players and make good plays in tight spaces. Puljujarvi is probably our best forward at creating loose pucks, getting to the front of the net. Big guy whose work ethic has been very good for us. So, you know, when you put a line together, you're looking for some chemistry or just synergy between the three. And you know, Nugent, Ennis are good, real smart players, veteran players. Hopefully Jesse can bring them some energy. So it's you know, it's one of the things on paper it looks like it should be effective, but you got to get in games to see where it goes.
On the blue line, Caleb Jones and Ethan Bear are can be critically important to this blue line if they're playing well. Where are you at with those two guys right now?
Well, we're trying to build their game. You know, Bearsy's kind of been up and down through some injury this year. Jonesy's game's been up and down. We've put the two of them together, and we're trying to build their game. And you know, the second and third period against Calgary, they were pretty good. You know, they both can move the puck well. They're agile. They both just got to get their game up to a level where we know that they can get to. And with both of those players, you know, they've had some ups and downs this year, but we're trying to push them into getting to a place where we know they can get to because they've showed it before. Both Jones and Bear had really good stretches last year, especially Bearsy the whole year. We're trying to get those two players back to that level. And if they do, they can become a really effective pair down there. So hopefully they take another step tonight and move in the right direction, because if they can get their game up and going, it just makes our whole group a lot better back there.
Bob Stauffer, 630 Chad.
Dave, a lot of people think Ottawa's season changed when they started to get some stops. They started 1-7-1. They've gone 8-10 in their last 18. But they also committed to playing their best puck movers on defense. How different, you know, they added Zubin, and they're living with the mistakes Brandstrom's making. Just a thought on maybe the perception versus the reality. Like, this is a team they're playing at a different level than they were even when you guys played them before, and the challenge that's there before you tonight.
Well, the first point you made is essential for any team. You've got to get solid goaltending. I think their goaltending was up and down earlier in the year, and now it's come back and it's stabilized a little bit. So it's given them a chance every night. But they're young players. If you look at them, they're gaining experience. They're you know, they put them in a position where they're going to get lots of opportunity. And as you gain experience in this team, if you're good players, you're going to get better. And that's what their team. You watched them play last night. They're a team that plays quick. They have good skill. They work hard. You know, so they're a team that's for their struggles they had early for different reasons. They continue to improve, and they'll be a handful here. They've played much better lately.
Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Dave, you've talked about wanting more depth, but of course you wanted to improve your goals against. And you've now been since January 30th, you know, it's over 5 weeks. So you're at 2.76 goals against. I think 9th best in the league. So I know the 3 games against Toronto stick out for a lot of people, but you know, if you look over 17 games, your team's been better defensively. What have you liked as a group in that time?
Well, first and foremost, we put a lot of load on Koski early, with Smith being hurt. So the two of them have come back and played well. Smith's given us a real spark there and given us some strong games. But I think just getting our whole group together, we've had some injuries on D, but we've really put an onus on trying to play better defensively. There's still some things that we need to clean up. Like there's some areas that we feel like we've given up some easy goals, not easy goals, but made some mistakes to allow the other team more chances than they need to have. But that being said, we've got a real onus to keep the puck out of our net. Our goaltenders have to do their part. Our penalty killing has to continue to get better, and our 5-on-5 play without the puck has to continue to improve if we're going to become a better team.
And looking at Ottawa and any team really when they're playing back-to-back, Dave, I know teams talk about the importance of a good start. And in Toronto, Connor said he'd like to start every game, but you didn't finish well. And then in Calgary, you didn't start well, but you finished well and you won. So, but where's your emphasis? Is it good starts one thing, but is it maintaining it? How do you do that against a team on their second night of a back-to-back? Is it more important?
Yeah, you got to be ready to play a full 60 minutes because what happens on a back-to-back, the team that comes in, they want to get a good start so they're not behind in the game. So they're stressing a good start. The team that doesn't play the back-to-back, they're stressing a good start to get them down. So everybody wants to have a good start, but in essence, it's how you play the whole 60 minutes. And a start could dictate some of that. Just because if you have a bad start and you come back and win the game, then you're all right with it. If you have a good start and win the game, you're all right with it. So it tends to be talking points, but in the end, to win in this league consistently, you have to play a strong 60 minutes, and that's what we'll be looking for tonight.
Rob Tuchkowski, Post Media.
Dave, you're going into a stretch now of 12 games in 21 days. So you look ahead to a grind like that, and do you have to maybe adjust the way that you do things in terms of ice time or practice time to keep everybody from wearing down, or is it just business as usual?
I wouldn't. You go game to game on ice time and situational stuff, but we recognize now that practice time is going to be at a premium. Our depth is going to be very valuable to us. So there's things like that you certainly look at and make sure you have things in place. That being said, when it gets to game day, you're concentrating on that game at hand right there. But there are factors that go into the thought process of planning and dealing with the schedule that you're cognizant of all the time.
I know you guys have some physiological stuff that you monitor, and how do you base your decisions? Is it talking to the players? Is it looking at the numbers? Or what are you watching for to make sure that everybody's tank is at a good level?
Well, we have a way we track every player, how much, where their body's at that time. So we get readouts every week to see where everybody is. If it comes to a situation where you have somebody that's overloaded, you can back them off a little bit on some of the practice stuff. So there's ways that we follow it pretty close, but we follow it as a group. And then, this year it's you got to keep track of your players on taxi, making sure that they're ready at a level they need to be if they're called upon. You have guys that are playing bigger minutes. You have to monitor those people with the, like you say, the schedule coming up. You have to monitor that. So we're our fitness people do a very good job of that, keep us informed of where we're at with all our players, and you're always cognizant of what's going on. And the whole thought process behind it is to make sure your players have the energy and the wherewithal to be good in the games, and that's what we'll try to do.
Henrik Soberg, Hockey News Sweden.
How do you feel about Theodor Lennström's start of the year, and what's his status right now, and can we expect to see him in the lineup soon?
So he went down, he had a pretty good camp, and he went down to Bakersfield. He played very good down there. And then when we called him up, the injury to Cuckoo, we called him up, and he had a 14-day quarantine. He's skated a little bit. His first practice with us was yesterday, and all of our coaches came out of the practice and said they really liked what they saw with him. So he's been off the ice for a while. He'll practice here with us and continue with us, and we'll see where it goes to get in the lineup. But he's an intelligent player. He jumped into practice yesterday. You notice he's he's a veteran player, lots of poise with the puck. So I think there's some upside with him. We'll see how it goes when we get him in the lineup.
Jim Matheson, Post Media.
Yesterday we talked about Josh Archbald. Is he in or out tonight, or do you not know yet?
Josh is day to day with an upper body injury. He won't play tonight.
And with Lagesson, some coaches don't believe in if a player gets hurt and is out, that's not a reason to not put him back in. In other words, you can't lose your job because you get hurt. Are you that way with Lagesson? I mean,
no, he's not ready to play.
He's playing so well that.
No, we like the way he's playing. He's not ready to play. He can't play at the capacity he needs to play if he had to right now. So that's the reason he's still out.
Final question, Gene Principe, Sportsnet.
Hey, Dave. It's a game day and it's International Women's Day. I just wondered, meaning of that kind of a day for the ladies and the ladies that have, helped you out in your life to get you to, the NHL as a player and a coach and had success both at and away from the rink. Well,
the importance of women is always understated. There's my mother, we just gone through it with Walter Gretzky being the hockey dad, but for a lot of players in this league and a lot of people, the hockey mom was the one there that was sometimes bandaging you up and getting you to the rink, and hockey moms are equally as important. I've been fortunate. My mom has been so supportive throughout my whole career, whether it be in playing, coaching, as a minor hockey player. That, and I'm fortunate that I have a wife and two daughters that women have had a huge influence on my life. So, you bring thought to the women in your life and the importance in this world. You would be hard to imagine where you'd be without the strength of a woman in your life.